Where there's treasure up in the hills, and I sure hope I can find. Well, won't you come along with me, and maybe we can find some happy time. Hey everybody, I'm at a new location. Never been here before. Well, as you can see, it's pretty remote out here. It's not as far as I've been out before, but it's still pretty remote. There are some people still living out here. I think that, like way over there, you can see possibly those are somebody's homes way over there. Well, I'm gonna start looking around here. This looks pretty sparse right now. I don't see any kind of junk or anything, so I'm gonna hike for a while and hopefully we'll find something. Well, I found something. You see here, they're not real old, but it's they're kind of scattered around here. I stacked them all up here. These are pogs. There's a poplar, I guess, back in the when I was going to high school, I think it was. Kind of neat. Cool. On to the next. Hey everybody. I'm at another spot I moved. It's actually another day too. And didn't find much my last hike, but I'm in an area that I've never been before. Not too remote. There's, you can see far off in the distance, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff from 60s and 70s so far. So hopefully we'll find something cool today. And as soon as I do, I'll show you. A lot of you will remember this. Remember these Viewmasters? I think they still kind of make them today, but not like this. That's kind of cool. That's probably from the 60s, I'm guessing. 60s, 70s maybe. Cool. I want to take that. That's cool. All right, on with the searching. Hey everybody, I'm at a spot that I've never been before. It's pretty remote out here, about the same distance as I've been out before in my farthest. I found this spot looking at overhead aerial maps, and I noticed a few things, and so I came out here to see what I can find, and hopefully we'll find something good. Well, I found something. Here, check it out. Well, here it is. If you look at it, it's an old cartridge. Sucker's huge. I don't know what caliber. 20. It says 20 millimeter. I think that's a date on it. 1942. Wow. I hate to get hit with the things that are coming out of there. Jeez. It's a good sized caliper. That's kind of interesting. All right. Well, I found something kind of interesting. It looks like I stumbled onto an old homestead site here. Check it out. You can see this is the foundation. Whoa, sonic boom. Foundation. First I thought maybe it wasn't, but it's definitely an old foundation. This might have been like a little, either the dust is blown in and buried half of it, or it's definitely old. You kind of see they had placed rocks around the property here. I guess it was like a fence or something. I don't know. Another hole over there too. I'm gonna take a look around and see if I can find something here. Well, I think I found something really cool. Check this out. You can see it right there. It's another button. It looks like a military button. It's got an eagle on it. Oh wow, that'll be fun to research to find out what that is. It might be a military button. That's cool. Alright, I'm still looking. Well, I found something else. Look right here. It's still buried. It has a wood handle there. Oh, that's the handle. It's some kind of, that's weird. Some kind of tweezers, or maybe this was some kind of old, you know, this might be like an old curling iron, or I don't know. That's weird. Had wood handle. There it is. I'm going to take the wood handle, and it has a solid rod, and then it looks like an old type of curling iron or something. You'd heat it up and use it. I don't know. That's interesting. I'll have to do some research and find out what that is. That's definitely older. All right, on with the searching. Hey everybody, all done with my hike, and it's the next day, actually next morning, and I thought I'd go over the items that I found on the last few hikes. I'll just start from the left and work to the right here. These is just some stuff I didn't record, but I found. It's kind of junky stuff, but it's interesting. This is an old brass cap. This right here is an old lipstick, or part of an old lipstick case. Around 1920s, maybe a little bit before. An old hinge, kind of a neat design on it. And then the first hikes, or the first couple days, I found the Pogs. This is basically in the 1990s, and they went out in the 1990s. I thought it was, for some reason I thought these were earlier, more times when I was in high school, but it was actually more after I got out of high school. I graduated in 85. So a little bit after those got real popular. And then I found the old Viewmaster. This dates basically late 40s into the 50s. Anything older, they actually Viewmaster started in 1938, and they would have been black. If it would have been black, and that would have been from 1938 into 1940s. And after that, they turned red, I think. That's kind of interesting. And then I found on the last day of my hikes, I found all this stuff here. This stuff was kind of interesting. As I got into the history of it, I realized that there's a lot of history in that area that I was at, and I'm going to start with this right here, which is I researched it. It is an old curling iron, or back then this size, because it's really small. Men used to use it to curl their mustaches. Back then, they would stick it in the fire and heat it up, or over a lamp or something like that, to heat it up to curl their mustache. And that was early 1900s. This dates too. And then I found this button. It is a 19 or a World War I style button, and the reason why I know that is because the writing on the back and how the shank was attached, because they used this from 1902 to present, and the seal of the button, but it changed after a while. Like in World War II, it wouldn't have been attached. It would have been looped through the back, not soldered onto the back. And actually, and the maker, it's called Cly Works or something like that. Basically, when you look at the writing on the back, but that's kind of cool. So that's World War I. And then I found, well, actually, I found this before those, but this is kind of cool. This is a 1942. The date's on the back. 20 millimeter shell. This was an anti-tank shell, and you had to have a pretty good sized gun. Usually they were mounted onto a ship or on a tank or another tank, or they did have ones they moved around, but it had to be on they had a bracket or legs that were attached in the ground to keep it stationary to shoot this thing. But check out how on other videos on 20 millimeter gun, it's pretty impressive. And then I found an old spark plug, basically early 1920s, 30s. It's an old horse tack. And I wasn't sure about this at first, but then I found some couple old mines, and this was probably used as a mining tool. It's been broken off there at the bottom, but they would mine whatever they were looking for in the ground. Would beat that sucker and break off the chunks, I guess. But what's interesting is I was researching the history of of this stuff here. Is real nearby is a military base, Edwards Air Force Base. Well, before Edwards Air Force Base, it was basically just homestead lands out there. A man of name, or a family name of Coram, had land out there right by where Edwards Air Force Base is right now, and he had sold land to other homesteaders out there for $1 an acre, basically. And so I think that's that building that I found, an old homestead I found. That was probably one of the old homesteads that he had sold to homesteaders out there. And he started out there, Mr. Corum, I guess, started in 1910 out there. So that makes me think that all the stuff from earlier, like the mustache and the button, that was from that time period from the homesteaders out there, because this was all found around that homestead. Because, you know, World War I, 1914. And I didn't tell you this one, this button too, I found in that same area too. And it's an old shell button. But then I found this, which was 1942. That's when the United States was right in the middle of World War II, and that became a major base for training back then. So that's kind of interesting, and that's when the name Mohawk Base was established, as in 1942. And that's kind of interesting because that's the same date as this was. So this was definitely used in the training when the base just started out there at Mohawk. And it wasn't until 1949 that it got changed to Edwards Air Force Base. But before anybody was out there, Corums or anybody, this is another added history here, is the only thing that was ever out there was prospectors. And I did come across, I'll show you in a video, across some old mine sites. And this would be to that dates, possibly. Not 100% sure, but the mining that went out there. So there's from here to these here to here is a time period from 1910 up until, or earlier. This one from earlier than 1910, because this is about the middle of 1910 when this stuff was put there, and to War II. Anyway, I had fun research on the history, and thanks for watching.
Well, there's treasure up in the hills, and I sure hope I can find. Well, won't you